three reasons, though, that the United States really can't play this kind of post-World War II to the end of the Cold War sort of policeman position or role in the 21st century. First, if you think of yourself as an exceptional power, an indispensable power, then it's important, really, everything that's happening everywhere is essentially important. And it means then that you can't really prioritize, you can't distinguish, as George Kennan famously said, between core interests and peripheral interests. And I think we found ourselves in situations, and I would give our one example, U.S. intervention with the Europeans in Libya as a peripheral interest, which has ended up creating more harm than good. Second, in looking at, again, the idea of the U.S. as a policeman, it tends to be tied when people make this argument, it was done here earlier, where the key goal of U.S. foreign policy becomes democracy promotion or nation building or spreading our values worldwide. That, in my view, is a very dangerous enterprise. And finally, I would argue there is always the temptation to equate American foreign policy and constraints on American foreign policy with military intervention. We have got to form, I think, a more holistic understanding of foreign policy that goes beyond just military intervention. But for some reason now, increasingly, diplomacy and statecraft are no longer seen as vital in U.S. foreign policy. It's more a question of how to deploy and use American military power. So the bottom line is, the United States needs to be more selective in how it thinks about its priorities abroad. It needs to be guided by national interests, not values promotion. And it needs to have a diplomatic or statecraft-led doctrine rather than just simply the use or reliance on military force alone.